practice can be classified according to the virtues they oppose, or also be linked to capital sins which Christian experience has distinguished, following St. John Cassian and St. Gregory the Great. They are called capital because they engender other vices, other sins. They are pride, avarice, envy, wrath, lust, gluttony, and sloth.
This video will show examples of these sins in their online forms. Number 1. Pride. Pride is excessive love for self, honor, attention, and a desire to be better than others. Pride may come in different forms, and one of its forms that can be found online is plagiarism. Plagiarism is a good example of pride, for it's taking credit for someone else's work and claiming achievements that are not his or her own.
Number 2. Avarice. Avarice, or greed, is the excessive desire to get or keep money and possessions for the purpose of just wanting to have a harmonious life. An example of this that can be found online are scams. Scams are a good example of greed, for this is the driving point of their endeavor to trick others into putting quite a bit of money in false online investments.
Number 3. Envy. Envy is desire to bring down other person's success, usually with a very toxic and twisted way along the lines of defamation, blackmail, and doxing. A good example of this that can be seen on the internet is cancel culture. This happens usually to the influential person on the internet through spreading false information or using mistake of that person to cancel or bash them.
Number 4. Wrath. Wrath is the extreme anger that seeks to hurt the other party. Anger is not a sin. It only becomes a sin when there is the desire to wreck someone. An evident example of wrath on the internet is the hate comments on posts in social media.
Number 5. Lust. Lust is the immoderate craving or involvement on sexual activity inside or outside marriage. A good example of this is the frequent visits on adult sites and messaging strangers to send pictures of their naked figure.
Number 6. Gluttony. Gluttony is the overindulgence to food and drink without caring for one's health. A form of gluttony that is evident on the internet is the excessive ordering of foods online.
Number 7. Sloth. Sloth is the laziness to exert physical or spiritual effort to something. It is the refusal of God's service. An example of this is doing other activities for pleasure purposes than focusing on the important task.
Now that we know some of the online forms of these sins, it's time to assess and reflect on ourselves. Are we guilty of doing these? Now is the time to pray and help bring back respect and love on the internet that people have forgotten because of these sins.
Mark 2 verse 17 says, "And when Jesus heard it, he said to them, those who are well have no need of physician, but those who are sick I came not to call the righteous, but sinners."